Hi, thanks for joining me for a walk in the Carpenter shop. I want to read you a psalm. It says this, Psalm 51:1. Have mercy upon me, O God, according to your loving kindness, according to the multitude of your tender mercies, blot out my sin and transgressions. There was a guy by the name of John Vassar. He was an agent for the American Tract Society in the 1850s. Now, tracts are those little pieces of paper pamphlets that you give out that will talk about biblical truth, usually talk about salvation, usually answer some burning spiritual question. The American Tract Society has been around for a long time and distributed those to people all over the world. John Vassar, on this particular occasion, left a Bible in the home of a Christian woman whose husband was not a believer. As a matter of fact, not only was he not a believer, he was a member of a religious group that was very hostile toward Christianity and wanted nothing to do with the things of God or the people of God. However, he was married to a Christian. Interesting enough, another story for another time. Let's go forward. When the husband found the Bible that John had left, he was furious. And just to emphasize how furious he was and how mad he was and how he didn't want his wife having a Bible in the home, he literally cut the Bible in half. Cut it in half. A few weeks later, during an incredibly difficult time, this man's life seemed to begin unraveling and he got a little panicky. And one of the things that happened as he sat in complete frustration at the dining room table, he looked over to the counter, and there on the counter, his wife had placed the half of the Bible that he had cut in two. He flipped it open and began reading Luke chapter 15, the story of the prodigal son, in his half of the Bible. He read, and he reread, and then he became desperate to find out how the story ended. And so he began to beg his wife for the other half of the Bible so he could read the conclusion. The end result is one of those amazing stories about the grace of God. This man read the story and recognized himself as a sinner, and he made the decision to believe, trust, and follow Jesus. Interestingly enough, that story of the prodigal son also has another character in it, though, that a lot of other people can relate to. It's not the prodigal that comes home, it is that older brother that stays at home. See, in the story, he has a struggle with sin as well, and he has a struggle liking and loving his younger brother because his younger brother just hasn't done it like he thought he should. That brother is suffering from something that we call elder brotheritis. And that's a terrible disease that you have to struggle with, because as you struggle with it, you don't see the sin in your own life because you're too busy worrying about the sin in others' lives. And I don't know about you, but when I take inventory of my life, I realize that I'm very fortunate to be saved by the grace of God, and I'm fortunate to be able to do anything or say anything that can impact the lives of others. I know how worthless I am, but I know that I have value because of Jesus. Guess what? So do you. Let your value come from Him. Use what He has done in your life. Become that great success story of someone who's been saved by grace, and then get busy touching and changing the world. You have a lot to do, and there's a big world out there just waiting for what you have to offer. Don't be afraid to share. Thanks for joining me today in the Carpenter shop. I look forward to our next time together.